This is First Contact, Stories of the Call Center.
Obviously, you're not going to realize any of these things if the migration plan isn't properly put in play and it's not done well, right? Because I can imagine that migrations, that actual project plan being put in play and going smoothly, as smooth as it can go, obviously, can make or break the whole thing, right? That's where the most pain I can imagine being felt is that moment that they're going from what they do today while they do it and then transitioning to something they haven't done before, or at least the way they've done it. So can you walk me through from your perspective, if you had to write a plan, if you had to put something together, what does that properly put together plan look like so that you do have a successful implementation and migration?
Yeah, I think, the transition is really where the rubber meets the road, right? The implementation is the fulfillment of the sales promise, right? That's when things go from, oh, it's going to be glossy to, this is it, right? And no matter what you do, even when we do it, you can ask 500 questions, but it's the 501st and second question that gets you, right? You always got to ask these things because someone will bring something up. Oh, I didn't know that, or oh, we didn't find that out. But if I had to say the things that would be, or the steps that I would look at, there's probably 5 or 6 steps that I would look at, right? Get your CRM working the way you want it, right? You have to make sure that that's clean. Get your processes, the integrations required, all those dependencies, get them mapped out. Let's know what they are down to a T. Build a simple mission statement from where all other processes and decisions will come from, right? That I can't stress that enough, how important that is. Make a shift with the agent in mind. And we call them enablers because they're really the tip of the spear of your organization. They're the ones enabling your mission statement. Yep. Make their life easier, and then the client's life will be simpler, right? Have that philosophy in place. Choose a vendor that meets your needs, not the one that any sort of magic zone is going to tell you that's the right one for you. More often than not, the person that wins the technical capabilities doesn't win the deal because of usability functionalities for your agent, right? There's a huge difference there. And don't try to boil the ocean at once, right? Let's get simple steps and consumable change. Let's make sure that that's at the forefront, because if you don't do those things well, you're going to have cost overrun. You're going to have a lack of confidence. You're going to lose your prestige in the organization. You're going to have poor results. So if you look at those 5 or 6 steps that I said, I think those are the blueprint that everything else will come from.
Yeah, when we find implementations that go successfully, some of the things that we look at and we see that adds to what you're saying, and it may actually be fully encompassed, is a lot of times there's assumptions that things work a certain way. There's just blindly, oh, I just thought it did that, or I thought it did it this way, or that's normal, that's standard, right? And if you can uncover those things earlier, those little nuances of literally what do the users experience, the supervisors experience, the managers, the ones building reports, what is it they experience versus the big picture, but also going down into walk me through what you do. Because that one thing that they do, literally for them to learn differently or to change a process or to teach somebody how to do it, could become literally that person that makes life much harder for that implementation. The buy-in isn't there, or even that role doesn't exist anymore because that requirement isn't there. But for the transition, you need that person there, right? Yeah. So being able to know that piece, I think, has been really important as well in the implementations. And then also on top of that, when we look at the implementations, I think your point around boiling the ocean is such a great analogy, because a lot of times you're surviving today, unless the only reason you're not moving is because like you're failing miserably or your system is literally collapsing regularly and you can't function. Unless that's the driver, your business is working today, right? So being able to at minimum do as much or a little bit more than what you're doing today isn't going to kill you. You don't have to put every feature, every function possible, because you may not have a lot of people in-house that are experts at implementing that feature functionality, measuring to it, and managing it accordingly. Because if they're not used to doing email, SMS, or other omni-channel stuff, they may still treat it like many people do today. They're all siloed off, they're all reported separately, they have different teams that are being managed, and they're not cross-trained, and it doesn't give a better experience anyways. So I think those are some things that I'm sure you're doing that are enveloped in those 5 or 6 pillars that are critical to that.
I agree. I agree.